Spider-Man 4, What to Expect. Welcome to Voice of the Fat Mantis, and happy President's Day to everybody who celebrates. Let me get rid of these so that I can actually see what I'm doing and see my lovely peoples over here. I don't want to talk about presidents right now. I actually want to talk about Spider-Man 4. It has been tweeting, or should I say trending recently on Twitter, and a lot of people are just into it and talking about it because finally the contracts are done, which means they can finally talk about this project. We knew it was already happening. I think literally if you just watch the last Spider-Man, clearly they sent him back to basics for a reason. So we can actually see these adventures. And not only that, I believe that they spread that rumor around the time that No Way Home was out. I actually think that they actually were suggesting a new trilogy was coming. And I'm all about it. I used to always enjoy, don't get me wrong, Spider-Man and everything going on with the MCU. I think it was one of the better franchises the MCU was dealing with. However, I did complain about him being Iron Man Jr. or Iron Lad or whatever way you want to look at it. Him being the Iron Spider and subservient to Iron Man. When in the comics, he's actually on par. Tony Stark is normally older than him, but they are contemporaries in terms of experience of superheroing. But finally we get a back to the basic story, and this has opened up the floodgates to so much, and we're going to talk about it. Before we do, I would love it if you liked, shared, and subscribed to Voice of the Fat Mantis. I also wouldn't mind a spicy comment, as I love debate, and I love to hear what you guys are thinking. Now, getting into it, 4 major villains or plot points that are probably going to be introduced not just in Spider-Man 4, but probably throughout his new trilogy. The first one, I gotta say, is the unspoken villain that we never got to see, the Sinister Six, and probably should have joined them in the Sinister 5 storyline of No Way Home. You guys couldn't have given us a 6th villain. I mean, come on, bro. And so that is the Scorpion. We see Mac Gargan in an end credit scene all the way back in Homecoming. He talks to the Vulture and he's like, yo, I want to mess with Spider-Man. What's up with that? It's played by the brilliant and yet to truly blow up, but really deserves it, Michael Mando. For those of you who don't know, Michael Mando was one of the stars of the show Orphan Black. He's also the main villain in Far Cry 3. Both his likeness and acting was used for that one. Brilliant work, and he's also from Better Call Saul. It's time for this actor to do his thing, and I would love it. In the comic books, Mac Gargan is actually hired by J. Jonah Jameson, who it's great that he's now in the Spider-Man franchise again. Same actor as before. Strange. Very strange. To be a private investigator to hunt down and figure out Spider-Man's movements, particularly who is recording him and how do they do it. This would lead him down a horrible road that would eventually require him to get so messed up he needs cybernetic replacements, where he gets a cybernetics scorpion's tail and blasters hooked up to it and battle armor, claiming the name The Scorpion. I love it. It's time to show him, please. If Sony is planning on doing their infamous Otherworld Sinister Six movie with Morbius and all this, I really hope that Michael Mando's character doesn't end up getting walloped into them, because that would just be a waste of talent and just plain fun. Next, I want to go into what they've set up from an end credit scene, and that would be a Venom or Carnage of our very own. Now, I was hoping that we would get either Andrew Garfield versus the current Venom series with Tom Hardy, or at least a crossover where he jumps dimensions and he fights Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and we were getting something different. While Tom Hardy's Venom was visiting the MCU universe, his symbiote laid a baby, which means a symbiote is going to be happening in our very own series, which means not only could he be the next villain, he might actually be a all trilogy long villain. They might, when these stories happen, it depends on the pacing they decide to do. I could see them doing Venom in one shot, or I could see them doing 2 or 3 movies with him. I can't wait to see what's going on there. I do really hate when we have multiple versions of a character. Like, we've got a Venom series and then we've got Venom in this. It's going to be jarring. I don't love it. But I would like to see Tom Holland either get a black suit or fight Venom. That might be a really good time right there. And next, I want to go into the romantic interests of Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That's what we're all about, right? They did a wonderful get out of jail card. And so if you introduce Mary Jane, or MJ in this universe, to Spider-Man in the first one, if he gets with any other girl, he's going to seem like a total scumbag. Yeah, no one's going to really enjoy that. People are going to be resistant of this. And so he can't get with his other love interests. He can't have flings. He can't have all sorts of things. And therefore, it eliminates the idea of having a Black Cat, one of our favorite Spider-Man villains. The femme fatale who he hooks up with, but he has to arrest at the end of the day. Heavens to Murgatroyd, what do you do? She's so beautiful. I don't know what to do. We have to have her. And their get out of jail free card is what they did is everyone has amnesia except for Tom Holland, which means anything Tom Holland does right now is not cheating. If your woman doesn't remember you and doesn't want anything to do with you, you are allowed to cross that line. Trust me, I'm sure. It's like if you cross the state line, or if you... I kid. But this will open up the floodgates for a Black Cat. Now, I see online a lot of people are talking about the actress Tati Gabrielle. They've already race spent one of his love interests, and so I don't want to see all of his love interests being race spent. To be honest, I think an actress who's meant to play Black Cat and will forever be known as Black Cat is Anya Taylor-Joy. Now, no one remembers New Mutants. If someone's like, she's already done a superhero movie, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. Which means she can absolutely become our Black Cat, and I would love to see her in that role. Blam, that is a winner. That dog will hunt. Or is it that cat will hunt? And finally, I think actually the most important villain and the craziest thing that we're going to see in Spider-Man 4 and beyond, that's probably going to take over the entire trilogy, is going to be Ned turning in the Hobgoblin. I know a lot of you are like, what's going on? People don't realize that Ned has the actual full name of one of the hobgoblins in the comics. This is not the main hobgoblin, but it certainly is a vicious one. And to see him live up to that namesake would be awesome. Now, MCU has often given characters names that are characters in the comic books, but they never live up to their destiny. And you're like, why did you bother doing that? I don't get it. However, I feel the Spider-Man franchise is a little more sophisticated than that. I thought they were going to go through the trilogy and never address it. However, there are hints in No Way Home that Ned is going to live up to his doppelganger's potential of becoming an arch villain. One of the Spider-Men actually say from another dimension that he's like, my best friend got to turn into a villain. Now, he's not referring to Ned. However, that scared Ned. Now, Ned has no memory. Whatever decisions in the superhero community he decides to do going forward, it is not his fault if he decides to fight Spider-Man because he doesn't remember Spider-Man. How is this going to happen? Well, he's going to go to MIT, and I have a feeling that the Green Goblin, who had been dropping bombs and lost his glider in the last one, these weapons are going to be studied in MIT, and Ned's going to get his hands on them. He might even be fascinated, as he seems to be fascinated with superhero tech already, and he might look into it, so he has one foot in the door of becoming the Hobgoblin. Now, it's important to note that the Hobgoblin that he is actually named after is actually the Hobgoblin that was brainwashed into thinking he was the Hobgoblin. This was a clever way that the Hobgoblin could be imprisoned, but still do crimes on the outside. They used some timey-wimey brain stuff to him to make him appear, so it's quite possible that Ned will become Hobgoblin, but really not know that he is, and therefore he will be absolved of any crimes, just as Peter Parker will be absolved of hooking up with Black Cat. In both situations, I'm absolutely for it, and I'm loving what I'm seeing here. Now, finally, there's the idea of a name. What are we going to name the next one? Is it No Place Like Home? Home Sweet Home? Homeboy in the Kitchen? I don't know. I wonder if they're going to continue with the home thing. It would seem weird if they stopped doing the home thing. I don't know. But the real question is, what do you think they're going to call it? Do you think Black Cat is coming, and what actress do you think should play her? Is Ned going to turn into a supervillain? Are you excited for Spider-Man 4? So much to talk about by this news. I'm super excited. I hope you are too. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of the Fat Mantis. Leave a spicy comment. I'm all about it, guys. And until next time, ciao for now.